Okay, so here we are. We're going to dive into this month's market report for the month of July 2024 versus July of 2023. The reason, as you know, we do our weekly market report is because those are lead measures. They let us know acutely what's going on in the market so we can make minute-to-minute decisions. Our monthly market report gives us a bird's eye view so we can see where the trends are going and what's happening. Are we expecting prices? Are we seeing prices moving in a certain direction? What exactly is going on? So we need that focused information so that we can figure out exactly what to do in the moment. But we need the broad span, the bird's eye view, so we can get a picture of what's actually happening in the market, so that we can tell what trends may happen, so we can strategize appropriately. All right, so we're going to dive into the 2024 numbers. Okay, so here is our weekly market report. If you missed it, go back and watch the August 18th market report, and that'll market snapshot. That'll give you the details of what's going on in the last 7 days. Okay, so let's start with new listings. As of July of 2024, it was the same as July of 2023. We had 1,209 new listings in Fairfax County in July 2024, exact same in 2023. So the inventory pretty much stayed flat. We are hearing that there's a lot of increased inventory out there, and we are seeing that inventory in general is up, but the number of new listings for July specifically were the same. So that number was flat. Okay, so that's the number of new listings. So now we're going to jump into the number of new sales. So for July of 2023, we had 1,091 sales versus 1,209 listings. For July 2024, we had 1,237 sales for the same number of listings. So basically, we were up 12% in July of 2024 versus July of 2023 in number of sales in Fairfax County, meaning that the buyer demand was higher. That's why we're still seeing a seller's market. Days on market. So days on market indicates how long it takes for a property to sell once it hits the market. So in July of 2023, 16 days, July 2024, 16 days. So same, it's flat. How about months of inventory? So the months of inventory, what you do is you take the total number of active listings and you divide it by the total number of properties that sold. That gives us what's called the absorption rate. The absorption rate tells us, is this a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? Is it a strong, neutral, healthy market? Opinions vary on the number of months that each put you into each category, but in general, we can say anywhere from 5 to 6 months is a good, healthy market. Anything below that 5 to 6 month rate is a seller's market. Anything above that would be a buyer's market, because that's mean we have inventory that would last more than 6 days. And I think I forgot to say this part. So if the continuation of the sales rate happened, but there was no new properties that hit the market, then that tells us how much inventory we would have before we ran out of inventory. So in July of 2023, we had 3 months of inventory. In July 2024, we had 2 months. You can actually see that our months of inventory is lower this year than for the last 3 months than it was for the same 3 months last year. So we're still in a strong seller's market here. Inventory is still a challenge, even though we're seeing increases in inventory, that buyer demand is going up with it. Median sales price. So the median sales price for July of 2024 was $733,000. The median sales price of July of 2023 was $702,000. So we've seen a 4.3% increase in Fairfax County of the median sales price. Since 2022, we've seen a 12.6% increase. And the reason these numbers are important is because if you are one of those people that's sitting on the fence waiting for the next market crash to happen, number one, we're not seeing the numbers that are showing that a market crash will happen. We are feeling a little bit of a slowing in the market, but we're not seeing anything that indicates that prices are going to come down. We can say that maybe prices might flatten a little bit, or the appreciation might flatten over the next period of time. But we can also say with the same amount of confidence, based on these numbers and based on the fact that interest rates are starting to come down, that we could see these numbers climbing again. And the point of this is, we've grown in Fairfax County specifically 12.6% over the last 2 years. If you're waiting for the market to crash, even if the market does change, and even if the market moves, let's say 5% downward or 8% downward, you're still net negative because you've been waiting for this to happen. If you go all the way back to 2020, it's ridiculous how high it's gone. So the point on that is if you're considering getting in the market and trying to time the market, it's very, very difficult to time the market. The best strategy is it's time in the market, not timing the market. So again, prices seem to be going up. Now, I do want to give some clarification of what median sales price means. I do this every month, and it's important to understand so that you understand how statistics work. So the median sales price is the number that's the number where they take all the houses that sold. It's the number that falls right in the middle. And they use this number because it keeps the data from being skewed by a really high sale. Like if you used average sales price, if you had a bunch of really high sales or really low sales, it could skew the data. So they use the middle number of the houses that sold. So let's see how that affects the market. So if you went to month one, you can see we had anywhere from $3 million to $220,000 in sales. We only sold 10 properties here. The one that fell right in the middle was $500,000. So the median sales price for month one was $500,000. Month two, we had 4.2 million. All of these sales were higher than this one, and all of these sales were higher than these sales. But the middle one, the one that fell in the middle, was only $400,000. So in this example, month two, there's a 20% drop in the median sales price because the first one, it was 500,000, second one's 400,000. So we had a 20% median, 20% sales price decline. So if this was being reported in the media, and this is an extreme example, but if this was being reported in the media, then it would be reported that the market is crashing, house prices are falling by 20%, which gives you the impression that now, today, you could go out and buy that $500,000 house for $400,000. The fact of the matter is you cannot. In fact, all these other houses were costing more. It's just where that house fell. So median sales price does not necessarily tell us the value of a home. You have to do specific analysis on each individual home to see, are the values of those homes coming down versus others. This can be location geographically specific. It can be even within a special geographic area, for example, Northern Virginia. It could be city specific, Alexandria versus, let's say, Reston versus McLean. It could be neighborhood specific. If you're in a specific neighborhood in McLean or a specific neighborhood in Reston, it could be specific there. So you have to look at each individual property to see what the supply and demand ratio is doing, to see what those homes are doing. For example, it could be a really strong market all over the place, but there's a specific neighborhood where there are 6 houses that are the exact same that are on the market at the exact same time. They may start cutting prices to compete, and that market value may drop in that neighborhood, but the surrounding neighborhoods are still going up. So it's very specific, okay? Just want to get that clear. All right, but overall, median house prices have gone up by 4.3% in the last year per the month of July. All right. The list to sales price ratio. So this is, how much over or under the sales price on average were people paying. So for July of 2023, they were paying around 101% of sales price. July of 2024, they were paying almost 108% of sales price. So prices are still going up, even though the demand is feels a little bit low, felt a little bit lower in July, prices are still going up. And then this is a graph that I go over each month. It just shows how interest rates and recessions don't really affect what the home prices do. It can affect the demand, but it won't necessarily affect the home prices. So you can see these are the home prices, and they've continued a pretty steady escalation up until we got to 2008, and then it took a pretty good dip and took a while to recover. Outside of that, house prices have either pretty much been flat or consistent. And there's another graph that we have that I need to put on here that's shown that I think it's been 7 years out of the last 77 where house prices have actually dropped overall for the year, and a lot of those years was like 1%. So only 10% of the years have prices come down, and even during those years it's been a very minuscule amount, except for 2008 when the housing crash happened. Okay, so the market is feeling slower. We are seeing fewer showings, but we're still seeing high demand. We're still seeing competition in the marketplace. It is a window right now for buyers. If you look on the minutia, looking in close right now, there is a window right now for buyers to get into properties without as much competition. But it is still a seller's market. So sellers, When you're putting your property on the market, you have to price it appropriately. If you do so and it's a price for its condition, you will get your top market dollar and possibly even more, because there is the demand out there to get it. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to let us know, and we will dive into the monthly market report probably mid-September for August, so we can look at those numbers. All right, everybody have a great day.